Hey, welcome back. We're back with Southwest of Normal, episode 4. Today, we're going to play a little game.
I'm excited and I'm a little nervous. What do you got for us, Brad?
You have no idea what's coming.
No idea.
Perfect. I love it. All right, stay tuned. We're going to get a little heavy in the afternoon here, in the second half, so stick around. You might agree, you might disagree. All right, we're going to play a game. I got my trusty, rusty iPad here. And this is going to be the list, the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time. I want to see how good you are.
Oh, man. This is hard. Of all time?
Of all time.
Okay.
Okay, so let me...
They don't have to be in sequential order.
They do not have to be in sequential order. Okay. You can just throw guesses out.
Are you going to tell me when I hit them right, or are you going to wait till the end?
No, I will tell you when you get them.
Okay.
Okay, so that will nail it down. Okay. I want you to be able to really get into yourself here and really excel. I want you to excel.
This is highest grossing.
In real dollars, right? Okay. Not adjusted for inflation.
Okay.
If we adjusted for inflation, I'll give you this. Gone with the Wind would be like number 1. It's not on this list. This is actual
what they gross or what they netted?
This is gross.
Okay, that helps me. All right.
Yeah. And all of this stuff was taken from Box Office Mojo, which is from IMDb.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So, top 10.
Okay.
I'll give you any hints you want.
All right, I got it.
You just start rolling, and I'll let you know if you're right or you're wrong.
The original Avatar.
The original Avatar is number 1. So you got number 1 right off the bat. For an extra point, can you tell me how much it's grossed?
Oh, I have no idea.
If you get this, right, and I'll tell you, it'll give you a point to sit on.
Year to date?
As far as I know, it's year to date.
375 million.
Gross?
I don't know.
For Avatar?
I don't know.
Not even remotely close. Not even in the same ballpark. You're out here doing luge while everyone else is playing baseball.
Okay, what is it? Well, I don't know how much movies make. I just knew that it was a top grossing film.
Well, I'll tell you, it's in B's, not M's.
1.5 billion.
It is not. So this one, I'll say it just to give you a point of reference. It is $2.9 billion.
That is wild. That's wild. The movie was good, but how much?
2.9 billion.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Billion with a B.
I'm over here saying 350. What am I doing?
350 million is like what a really, really good box office for that one particular movie. Like Spider-Man would make that domestic.
Cost of a humble yacht.
A humble yacht. That's right. Nothing crazy. Yeah. Just 350 million. Okay. Second guess. So you got number 1.
I was going to say Melania. No, I'm playing.
That one may have gotten $393.
How about is Marvel Endgame on there?
Avengers Endgame is number 2.
Let's go. Let's go.
You are so good.
Okay.
Look at that, number 1 and number 2. All right. How much did it gross?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, it's number 2. You already have the reference point. 2.9 billion is number 1.
1.8.
It is not that steep of a drop-off.
Okay.
I will tell you that.
2.5.
Much closer.
2.7.
Dead on.
Wow.
It's almost 2.8. 2.799 billion. So $2.7 billion. Number, whatever else you want to guess.
Okay, I'm going to say Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park not on the list.
Okay.
Not on the list. Very big blockbuster for back in the day.
Yeah.
Not overall.
Okay. So I'm also thinking about this too. So like dollar amount, movies that came out in the 90s and that, they're not going to be grossing as much.
Right.
Because cost of tickets were less. Things along those lines. So I want to say like a Peter Jackson, like Lord of the Rings or something, but because of price per ticket, I don't think that would be, so I think it's all going to be relatively in the last 10 years.
They were all within the last 10 years. Avatar was 2009, but except one of them. One of them was in the 90s.
Okay. Is there multiple Marvel movies on here?
There is 3 Marvel movies.
The original Avengers.
Avengers? Just
Yeah.
Avengers?
Yeah.
Not on there.
Really?
Not on there.
Civil War.
Again, not on there.
Endgame 2. Or like the Infinity War.
There you go. There you go. Avengers Infinity War, number 7. Take a guess. How much box office?
$2 billion.
$2 billion.
Okay, so it's number 7. All right, so let me find the other Marvel movie.
So you got Avengers Endgame is number 2. Avengers Infinity War, which was just before it, number 7.
Give me a hint on the Marvel one. I'm curious.
On the Marvel one, Mary Jane.
Oh, the last Spider-Man. Not No Way Home. Is that the one?
It is.
Okay.
It's No Way Home.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
Came out in 21. Spider-Man No Way Home, number 8. So you got 1, 2, 7, and 8.
Okay.
Okay.
So I
And
got
that was
Marvel out the way, and I got Avatar out the way. I don't know if the second Avatar's on here because it was a good flick, and I'm guessing it might be because it's expensive. And
very expensive.
second Avatar.
Second Avatar, number 3.
Nice.
Avatar: The Way of Water. A guess on
Yeah.
box office?
2.4.
It's so close. It
'Cause
was 2.3.
Oh my gosh.
You were only off by $100 million.
Yeah.
There's 3 animated movies on here.
Animated movies. There's 2 animated movies.
I actually think it's 3. Number 5, I don't think you're going to get. I would be floored. I would be dumbfounded. I would jump out of a window if you got this one right. Number 5.
Number 5.
Yeah, this one. I had never heard of it. And as evidenced, I know a lot about a lot.
You do know a lot about a lot. But I want to get the easy animated ones first.
Yeah.
So I would say it's a Pixar film.
Yeah,
Is it?
one of them.
Is it Inside Out?
Very close.
Inside Out 2?
It's Inside Out 2.
Okay.
Inside Out 2 is number 10, $1.7 billion. So Inside Out 2, I would have thought Inside Out 1.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Inside Out, I don't know if we've talked about this.
Great movie.
The best Pixar movie ever created. I think it should be required reading for everyone in the world, specifically everybody in the US, right now. It speaks to my heart. I cry every single time I watch that movie.
Yeah.
I love Inside Out.
It's a great flick.
It's one of my all-time favorites. Anyway, Inside Out 2, number 10.
Okay. Is the second of the... So there's the one that's a weird movie that I don't know. Is the other one a Disney pick or is it a Pixar pick?
It is
An Imagineer?
a DreamWorks one. You mean?
DreamWorks, yeah.
So let me look it up.
Zootopia?
I didn't even get to look it up
I was
yet.
thinking about it. Is it Zootopia?
It is not Zootopia 1.
Zootopia 2.
Zootopia 2, $1.8 billion. It's number 9.
Yeah.
It beat Inside Out, which I think is crazy.
I don't know, man. Zootopia is pretty good. Zootopia 2 is pretty good too.
Zootopia 1 is good, but I don't think Zootopia is any better than Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda is better. I think Shrek is better. I thought Shrek would have been on this list if we're going to talk about the all-time best rankings, right? But Zootopia 2, it made more money than Zootopia 1. And I get it, the sequel should exceed it, but in most cases it doesn't. In most cases, the second one drops off considerably. However, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these are all sequels.
Yeah.
All of them.
Okay, is the Hobbit 5 Armies one on there?
No.
I'm just
Why
saying.
would it be?
Because there's a big Lord of the Rings following, and
Okay, yeah, I get it. You're a big giant nerd, right? And I love that about you. But I don't think that following is big enough.
Is it a Star Wars flick?
There is a Star Wars flick on here.
Is it the last one? It's where Luke dies.
You can just say the number if you want.
The 9th one.
The 9th one? It is not the 9th one. And I think he dies in the 8th.
Then it's the 8th one.
It's not the 8th one.
Rogue? Is it Rogue One? No, it's not Rogue One.
It's not Rogue One.
It's the one that she comes back for it's the, what is it called? Rise of the Jedi? No.
So I think you're thinking of Rise of Skywalker.
No, the one before that one.
The one before that one, what's that called?
That's the one I'm trying to figure out. But I know it's a Star. I know which one it is.
The Force Awakens.
That's the one.
It is Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. $2 billion. Arguably better than any of the others. Other than Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back was phenomenal. But I thought the reboot with The Force Awakens, it's not really a reboot, it's just a sequel. I think that one is incredible.
So I'm just missing 2 on this list now?
You are missing 2. One of them you should know, and it's the one from the 90s.
The 90s?
Yeah. And the other one was from last year, but I don't think you're going to get it. I'll give you all the hints you want.
It's an animated flick?
Yes. I'm almost hesitant to even give you hints. 1, I don't know it, right? 2, you're not going to get it. It's foreign. There's a foreign movie on this list. It is not Ponyo. Princess Mononoke.
Is it a is it manga?
Like a manga movie, like an anime?
Yeah.
So manga is
the book
is books, right?
Yes, and the anime is the
actual.
Is it an anime movie?
It is not anime. It is Chinese.
Oh.
Do you know it?
Maybe.
I'm surprised I don't know it for making $2.2 billion.
I think I know what this is.
It seems like it's also a sequel.
Is it like a single syllable?
It is seemingly 2 words. I don't speak Chinese.
Okay, I don't know what it is.
It's Ni Jia 2. Whatever Ni Jia is.
Interesting.
The second one of those. Let's get that one out of the way. I don't think that's in either one of our purviews.
Yeah.
Right? However, you've gotten everything but number 4. So Ni Jia 2 was number 5. I'm going to run through it again. Avatar's number 1. Avengers Endgame is number 2. Avatar 2 is number 3. Blank is number 4. Ni Jia 2 is number 5. Star Wars 7 is number 6. Avengers Infinity War is 7. Better flick, by the way. 8 is Spider-Man No Way Home. 9 is Zootopia 2. And 10 is Inside Out 2. Lots of 2s. Lots of 2s.
Is this other movie a part of a series?
It is not. If it was a series, it would be wild.
Give me the genre of movie.
Drama. I would also argue period piece.
Downton Abbey.
I would also argue disaster flick.
Godzilla.
No, that did come out in 97. the worst one came out.
No, there's a new one. There's a new one.
Yeah, but this one came out in the 90s.
Oh, this is a 90s movie.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my bad. Last Mohicans.
Not a disaster flick.
Titanic.
It is Titanic. It's Titanic. I'm surprised you didn't get that earlier.
I was going to say that, but then I was thinking about the money thing.
You know what's funny is 1, 3, and 4 are all James Cameron. Dude's a beast when it comes to box office numbers. That's crazy.
He's almost as good as Michael Bay.
Almost. Almost. He doesn't have as many explosions is the problem.
Oh my
gosh. That's the problem. So Titanic made $2.2 billion. This is like real dollars, today's dollars. So that's not adjusted for inflation. So if you adjusted Titanic for inflation, it would be far higher, right?
Did you hear about, I love the John Wick series.
Uh-huh.
Did you see how that got started and how it almost got nixed? And it was like Eva Longoria, I think it was Eva Longoria.
I like Eva Longoria.
She invested $6 million to keep the movie afloat.
Okay.
And it's been like the biggest payoff for her to make that investment. I was reading about that. I was like, wow.
So she saved the flick.
She did.
Well, why didn't Neo? I wonder if he's invested. He's got to be. Who knows?
For the later ones, for sure, I would imagine.
Yeah. As producer.
Yeah.
So she's producer. Obviously, she has producer credits if she put $6 million.
I have no idea.
And saved it.
She saved the film.
And you like John Wick a lot.
I do. I like dogs.
I like dogs. I'm a big dog fan.
I am.
It's
not the gratuitous violence, it's the dogs.
You know what's funny is there's a rule in Hollywood typically that you don't kill children and you don't kill dogs. John Wick killed the dog and his wife, but it's okay to kill spouses, I guess.
Well, she died naturally.
Okay, but she still died.
Cancer. Yeah.
I'm not saying that in the movie they killed her. I'm saying the studio heads killed her off. I think a movie that kills a dog is typically like frowned upon and doesn't do well.
Or unless it's like a gut wrencher like Marley and Me.
Oh yeah, they killed that dog.
Oh man.
That movie,
brutal, bro. Brutal.
That was so awful. That didn't have a happy ending. Right? All I remember is the dog dying.
There's several dogs available for adoption at the Houston Humane Society. Would encourage you to visit your local animal shelter today.
And now, your Market Minute. Nationally, new federal labor data shows continued job growth. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported non-farm payrolls increased by 130,000 in January 2026. With the unemployment rate at 4.3%, key indicators watched by markets and the Federal Reserve. In Texas, the governor's office announced Davie Defense Inc. is expanding shipbuilding operations in Galveston and Port Arthur, citing more than $730 million in investment and more than 2,400 new jobs. Locally in Greater Houston, the Houston Texans announced the Toro District, which includes a new global headquarters and training complex planned in Bridgeland in northwest Harris County, described as part of a public-private partnership with Harris County and Howard Hughes. This has been your Market Minute.
Epstein.
Hey.
Hey!
Let's just get serious real fast.
We're going to take a slight detour.
Okay.
So, Epstein, ICE, George Floyd, Trump. We're going to talk about how to talk to each other. How do we have civil discourse in a world, in an America that is not civil or seemingly not civil? Is it civil? That's really the question. So I'm going to start this off. Are you able to speak freely with your clients and with your friends? Maybe not your clients, but your friends and your family.
Yes, but I don't always feel the need like I have to, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I think the older I have become, the more and more comfortable I am maybe sharing a point of view. But I also acknowledge with a lot of humility that I don't have all of the answers. I really want to do a better job of listening and trying to understand where people are coming from. There's some things that drive me crazy. And I'm not going to talk about like the, this convert, like the
politicization?
Golly.
Is that a word?
Politicization. How we
political discourse.
How we politicize faith. Sorry. There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. That's something that I have not been super vocal about, but that's something that bothers me. There's things that I've written out things like on social media only to read them back to myself and then read them to my wife, and then she's like, "You can post if you want to post," and I was like, "Man, what good is this gonna do?" And so like I literally will hit the delete button. Mm-hmm. But part of me also feels like there's a responsibility. I'm sitting at several different tables, hypothetically speaking, metaphorically speaking, from completely different socioeconomic, faith backgrounds, things along those lines. And part of me feels like there's almost like a responsibility to give another perspective, on certain things. How to do that is tough. Doing that without judgment, and not having a, shaking my hand at, fist at someone and like, how can they think that or believe that, or how can they not see what I'm seeing? That doesn't do any good. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anyone. So it's hard, man. It's hard to speak up. Knowing when to speak up, what to speak up. When everything is epic, nothing is. When you fight for every hill, no hill is worth fighting for. And so like I'm trying to do a better job of like being honest with myself and authentic and making sure that if I am going to speak up, it's going to be worth something that is of substance and importance. Like there's like that YouTube guy that was like getting on everyone's case for not putting their shopping cart, back up. Did you see those reels? Like he was like,
I don't know if I saw
filming people that left their shopping.
Oh yeah, I love that guy.
See, like I couldn't stand that guy. That's like out of all the hills to champion, of all the causes to champion, hunger and trafficking and whatever.
Yeah.
You're championing someone having a bad day and not putting their cart back.
Maybe it starts at home.
I mean, it does. Mother Teresa said, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. And I think it's talking about proximity and.
And if you want to love your community, put your damn cart away.
Yeah. But that's not a hill that I'm not going to look at someone who does that. I'll be like, you should put it away. But it's not going to be with judgment. Like there's more important things, out in the world. So.
I get that. Here, I want to lay the foundation. So as a realtor, professionally, right, we are in many, many different subsets of society. Yeah. We work with everybody looking for a lease, right, or people that are having financial trouble, right, all the way up to the multimillionaires, right, so taking it economically, right. Yeah. Then if we take it socially, we're working with blue collar, all the way up to white collar CEOs, right? We're working with entrepreneurs. We're working with people that are Democrats, people that are Republicans.
Especially, and in Houston, it's very diverse.
Super diverse, right? So we're working with the Indian population and Pakistani and the truly African, like Nigerian, and we're working with the white Texans that were born and bred here, and the Hispanics, and the
super vocal progressives, and
incredibly left, incredibly right.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Hard right.
So everybody, every single person we run across and we talk to, and we're in their lives for a season, right? We're talking to them about what's going to be the best move for them, and we're talking to them about how to make money if that's their goal, or how to just get into this house if that's their goal. Whatever their goal is, we're helping them succeed in that. So how do we have those conversations? And when they turn, because they do, when they turn political or religious or maybe dichotomous in some way, like when it turns that way, why would you feel the need to not speak out to a client?
Because I don't want to pass judgment on someone that I may not know very well. I may not like what they're saying, but I don't know what their lens and what they've had to walk, what road they've had to walk. So like for me, for example, I tend to be, I'll just talk about political views a little bit. I am not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, but I tend to vote, I'm right of center. I'm conservative on a lot of things. And I'm also in this weird spot where I'm more conservative than just about everyone in my family, and more liberal than just about all of my friends. So I'm in this weird place, like, who am I? But what my lens, being raised literally, if I came out my front door growing up and I turned 2 miles, and walked to the south, I would be at the border. My mom came over here when she was like 16 years old to work as a maid, as an immigrant. And I'm like, so for me, like that's my lens. I have a lot of friends and family that have come over here because they had nothing, like literally nothing, and it was survival. And so like the rhetoric for me, that it irks me, especially from like Christian evangelicals, where we seem to just, where's compassion and empathy and things along those lines. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have stronger borders. I'm not saying that we shouldn't, have immigration reform and things along those lines. But it's just whenever we have these hardline things and we don't take the time to treat people with dignity. So anytime that I see stuff like politically that's like robbing people of dignity, that irks me. Yeah. So that's my lens. I don't know what the lens of, this person may be. Maybe he's a rancher or a farmer. Maybe he has a completely different perspective. Maybe he's experienced crime from, whatever. And so like I want to listen, seek, to understand, I guess, where someone's coming from first before passing any kind of judgment.
So
on anyone?
seek first to understand.
Yeah. There's a great Ted Lasso clip where they're playing darts. And he's like, he's playing darts for the honor of his soccer manager, basically. And he's like, hey, if you would have stopped and asked, hey, Ted, do you play darts? He's like, you would have known I played for like the last, whatever, as a kid every Sunday with his dad at a sports bar. But there's a great scene. It was like, if we would just ask questions, like I have a friend right now and I love her. She's like a really great person. She's very, very hard right, very, very outspoken, and very, very thinks differently about some of the things that I see. Mm-hmm. And instead of like commenting, I'm actually probably going to give her a call here in the next week or two. Be like, hey, help me understand where you're coming from, because like this is something I don't get and I don't see.
Yeah.
And I think we need more of that.
In preparation for this, right, I was doing some research and talking about some stuff to some other people, and I called a friend of mine, not to like get into it, but I just kind of wanted to catch up. I haven't talked to this gal in a long time. And what's funny is she's in a lesbian marriage, right?
Yeah.
Has a child. She was previously, I believe, married to a gentleman, right, who fathered her child. Is in a very happy, healthy, loving relationship now, and I love both of them to death. You would think, based on the rhetoric, based on everything that's being shoved down everybody's throats, that they are super left, right? That they are not, right?
Really?
So
That's very interesting.
they're also not super right.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe more moderate.
Much more moderate, much more independent, like myself, like you, right? We lean, right? And I think that that's a fluid leaning on the independent side, where it can shift, right? But that's called growth in most cases.
Yeah.
Right? When I was talking to her, what should have been a 10, 15 minute drive home, hey, how's it going? How's the kids? We need to get together and play cards, turned into a 2-hour conversation about the ICE happenings in Minnesota and the is Trump good for America, and is this thing right, and is this thing wrong, right? What's California doing? What are we as Texans doing, right? It turned into this big long conversation. The thing I took away from that most, right, is whether I was expressing my opinions or she was expressing hers, and we didn't always see eye to eye. And it got a little hairy mid, right,
Yeah.
where I completely disagreed with her and she completely disagreed with me. We ended the conversation with, hey, I loved talking to you, and this was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate you. We're not going to fix everything right now, but we need to set a date to hang out and play cards, right? And just hang out and get back together as
Friends.
family.
Yeah, friends and family.
Right?
Sure.
So that takeaway, we were both trying to understand each other. We were both trying to seek first to understand, right? Where's your view coming from? Where's my view coming from? What I loved about that, though, was the ability to resolve and keep the conversation separate from the relationship. Okay? I don't want to see anything bad happen to her. She doesn't want to see anything bad happen to me. We want nothing but the best for each other. I met this woman in church when she couldn't find a church.
Okay.
As a lesbian, it made it very difficult, and she doesn't like to be labeled, right? So, but as having that label thrust upon her, it was very difficult to find a church home that would accept her, right? She was in a Bible study that I just happened to be teaching with another guy that I was with, and I sat down with her and we talked about all of her past and previous issues and what's going on and how can we help, and we ended up forging this really, really strong bond because, quite honestly, I leaned very left at the time, right? And I was very much a seek out other people, seek the lost, and be that shelter, right?
Yeah.
I still feel that way in a lot of scenarios. I feel like the arguments are being harbored and are being fanning the flames by media.
Oh, absolutely.
There's these two camps, maybe 3, 4 camps, but 2 main camps. And I'm right is on this side, I'm right is on the other side.
And so like in relationships, being right or winning isn't always the highest ethic or that should be the highest goal.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree completely. I think that the media, I'm using that term loosely, we use it for the social media too, right? But the media wants to be the right side. This all boils down to tribalism, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So can you explain just real quick what like tribalism is to you and how it's great for us?
How it's great for us. So listen, you can, so tribalism is just being pitted against someone else, and instead of seeing anything good that they're doing and acknowledging it, it's just we look at everything with just this like, it's like, for example, a few years back, AOC, I think she had raised like a couple $1 million, that came and supported like a neighborhood in Houston that was really needing, the money to put it to work or whatever. And the amount of like just backlash she got, it's like, can we just say like, hey, she did a good thing? Like, why does everything have to be a big deal? And that's what tribalism does. It's like it makes you comfortable within your own camp. You hang out with people that look like you, talk like you. It's easy to, it turns into almost like for example, in faith-based circles, it could be like the Christian ghetto, where you have no understanding of what it looks like to live life, just differently. When all you're hearing, it's like an echo chamber that you constantly feeding.
I don't know if I coined this. It popped into my head. Maybe I heard it somewhere else. But years ago, I referred to the Christian church, specifically these smaller churches that don't do any outreach and don't reach into the community, which is against what the Great Commission would be, right? Which is go out and make disciples of all nations. These Christians, so-called, that would come to church, get fed, and then leave and do nothing, right? So I coined personally this term obese Christians, right? They just sit there and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and they don't do anything.
They're the characters in WALL-E.
Yes, the characters in WALL-E. That's right. So these obese Christians in this particular case were not, they were imbibing, they were taking in, but they weren't giving, right? Same thing, I think, with most other areas. You're going to have these people who take and take, and they don't give and they don't give. And I think that that's a big issue in society. And it is the people that are engaging in this tribalism are purposefully forfeiting it.
For sure. And like when on the hill fighting thing. So like let's just take the Super Bowl for the Benito thing for example, right? Like we're talking about a halftime show.
You call him Benito?
Yeah.
And you call him by his first name?
Yeah. I feel like Allen Iverson, we're talking about practice, y'all. Practice. Not a game. Practice. A great sports speech. Anyways.
100%.
But we're talking about a halftime show, a musical thing, and the fact that we've had so much division in our country, And let me just give you the perspective. So like if you're like, oh, the lyrics are, it's a slap in the face to America and things along those lines, and you're super vocal about that, which is fine. It's your opinion. But I'll just say, like, coming from, just the lens that I'm going through life, seeing a minority or seeing a Latino, on a public stage, the wedding scene and things along those lines, and with dignity, like, it was beautiful. I don't understand the lyrics, to be honest. Like a lot of the stuff we said, and I was reading through, like, okay, great, but we're making a big deal out of that when you flip it, right, and you have an American artist, or you have someone singing in English, or you have like even so like on the Turning Point one, Kid Rock was singing about there's one of his songs about strippers and meth heads and things along those lines, mm-hmm. Then he talks about Jesus at the end. Is like, why don't we call that out too? If you're going to call out one, call out the other, because what it feels like an attack on the brown guy. That's what it feels like, and you may not intend it to be that way.
Yeah.
But that's what it comes across as. It feels that way. The fact that it's called the All American, that other show, the All American halftime show. when a Puerto Rican American was named to be their performer. And
Which
again,
is very important, by the way. Puerto Rico is an American territory.
right, and I also feel like I understand the whole American game, but we're trying to the NFL is trying to make it into a global sport more and more.
Yeah.
Growth, a bigger market, more money to be made, things along those lines. He was the number one selling artist last
And
year.
let's be honest, the NFL is a business,
It is.
right?
They
This
know what
is
they're
not.
doing.
The NFL is a business. They are going to put in people that they feel are going to get the most eyes on the Super Bowl, right? It is the largest sporting event in America every year, more than the Olympics, which I've been watching every night. And it's a spectacle, right? The whole purpose of the Super Bowl is a spectacle. That's why people drop $8 million for 30-second ads, because there's so many eyes watching it. Even people that don't watch football watch the Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay. So my brother, who hates sports, came over, watched the first half. He also wanted to watch the halftime show. We turned on the Turning Point one afterward as well, right?
Yeah.
Because we wanted to compare and contrast. We wanted to seek first to understand, right? We wanted to see what was going to be the message that was being presented, right? So I think if you're standing on that soapbox of it's in Spanish, we kind of touched on this last time. If it's in Spanish, I'm not going to listen. That's anti-American. If you're going to stand on the soapbox of it's a foreigner, that's also anti-American because he's American. He's Puerto Rican.
And this is my thing about some of these hardline principles, y'all. So there's a parable in the Bible, and it talks about like this guy that had a debt, and he was forgiven of that debt, and then he goes and like is like a hardline guy with the people that owe him money.
Yeah, and he goes, "No, you owe me money.
Yeah.
You give me my money."
After he was just forgiven of a much greater debt, and then he ends up getting thrown in, prison or whatever. Like that parable to me, and for like America, like while we are a great country, we also have a lot of history in our country that is dicey, right? We weren't too far removed from like Jim Crow stuff, the migrant workers that were working up, like where RFK was, championing a cause or things along those lines. Like we have a lot of history that's not necessarily the greatest, a lot of great history. So it's just like, we've come a long way for us to be hardlined about stuff like this, where like inclusion. And I just feel like that's all my personal opinion. I just feel like that's always, I don't know. It just feels hypocritical.
Here's what I think is going to be super helpful for everybody listening and everybody here. These pain points, right? Regardless of what they are, that is where the growth happens.
Absolutely.
Okay?
And if you remove yourself from conversations because you think differently, which that happens a lot, then you don't get to like speak into the tables that you're sitting at. And so like I want to learn from people that maybe view what's happening in our country differently. Like I do. I want to hear, well, how did you land there? What did you
Yeah. Because they may be coming, and they always are coming, from a different perspective.
For sure.
Right? They grew up differently than you did. They had a different upbringing than you did. Guess what? It all still happened in America. This is one of the great things about the U.S. is that we are so spread out. We are the largest. Texas is the biggest state. Alaska sucks. We are the largest because we have all of these different pockets of different things. Even inside cities, even inside Houston, you have Chinatown, and you've got little Mexico over here, and you've got Hispanic Puerto Rican population over here. But here's the thing
crazy
about Houston and about Fort Bend is those pockets are far less defined, right? So it's much more of a melting pot. Whereas if you go to like New York City, it is defined. This street is Little Italy. This street to this street, right? That, I believe, is more akin to like a segregation type situation. Houston, in general, does not have that, right?
Yeah.
In general. Now, if we're going to look at seeking first to understand, and if you adhere to that, that's great. And I hope that that's the way it is for you. I've always tried to live my life that way, right? I want to hear where you're at. One, because I want to learn.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe I don't want to change, but I want to learn where you're coming from, so that way we can have a conversation. And I guarantee you went something that's going to interest me, and I went through something that's going to interest you, and we're going to learn something, and we're going to have a good time, dare I say, and we're going to grow.
Absolutely.
If we don't grow, and we're stagnant, then all of this is going to die.
Yeah. We have to do a better job of listening and understanding, and also it's not my job to change someone's mind or heart, only God can do that, and their own personal experiences can do that. And I also feel like government has a role and a place and things along those lines, but if I really want to change the world and I really want to make a difference in the lives of people, yes, I'm going to vote. I'm going to maybe speak out where I see injustice. But man, I'm going to do what Mother Teresa said and go home and love my family. I'm going to love those that are near me. When was the last time you served someone? When was the last time you went to, took on an at-risk student and mentored someone? When was there's all these meaningful things that we just throw by the wayside and we get caught up in the noise. And those little things that we throw by the wayside I feel like are the things that could really change our communities, our world for the better. And so.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Taking it back just a second, I personally believe, and I'm going to stand on this, is that the 24-hour news cycle, and where I think we're shorter than that now, the 24-hour news cycle is to blame for almost all of it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not entirely sold that all of these things haven't happened in the past, right? But the only thing that has truly changed is that we're inundated with it. Constantly over and over and over and over and over, and then this news outlet is reporting, and then this other news outlet B is reporting on what news outlet C said, and then A is saying what C said and B said, and then you have all these talking heads and pundits. But that's the way that they're filling their time, right? The one with the most clicks wins. And what gets the most clicks? Clickbait. It's going to be something incendiary, right? So those headlines are crafted to get you to click on it.
Yeah, sensationalized for sure.
And again,
Absolutely.
all of the media outlets are all businesses. All of them, right?
Yeah, they're not trying to get the truth out. They're trying to solicit a response.
Yeah, because it's going to line their pockets, and they're going to stay in
Revenue.
business, and they're going to be able to create more jobs, and they're going to be whatever they choose to say, right? But I'm not saying don't trust the media. Okay, I'm not. What I am saying is just we all need to take in all sides.
Yep, and I think that's the thing. That's where the tribalism can be really, really dangerous, whether you're left-leaning or right-leaning, is that if all you are hearing are people in a certain camp with a certain ideology, it is an echo chamber. Like it really, really is. And so it's just like, I saw a video about Charlie Kirk. So when Charlie Kirk, when he passed, the video is basically like, how can so many people have such a radically different view of Charlie Kirk? And in some people's algorithms, all that they're seeing is sweet Charlie talking about Jesus, being mild-mannered and respectful and things along those lines. Literally, their feeds are just inundated with it. And then someone that's on the other camp, all they were seeing was, Charlie on his podcast, being very brash and condescending and things along those lines. And they're seeing sound bites from two different, and they're never seeing the other person's side of things. And so tribalism does that. I really do feel like we have to war against it. I think we're a lot closer and have a lot more in common with people than we think. But
than this us versus them mentality. And I completely agree. I think Charlie Kirk in particular, when I had watched him a little bit before, right? And I'm not going to say which way I land, but I think the magic of editing.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Was so telling on both sides, right? So you get all these clips, like you said, let's say you get all of the super nice, beautiful, oh, he makes a really good point on that. And then I get all of the ones that say, oh my gosh, he's hate-filled and he's spewing all of these lies and nonsense, right? But the editing of those pieces was incredible, because then I would go in and watch the whole set, right, on YouTube or whatever. And I'm sitting there going, hey, sure, he's brash on a couple of pieces. Sure, he's sweet on a couple of pieces. Like he's this person who is a human, right?
Yeah,
a fluid
and we all
human.
have a duality in all of us.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're taking just those
Sound bites,
then of course it's going to make you appear one way, right? So I think the magic of editing, and that just floats dead back onto what is the news source, where is the news coming from, where are you looking at all angles?
Yeah.
If you're not looking at the whole picture, right? If you're watching a video and it's starting right from the point where the cop shoves a guy, right? Then the cop's going to be wrong. If you're looking at the video from a few seconds earlier and the guy starts screaming and yelling at the cop and then throwing stuff, your perspective shifts.
Yeah.
So the only way to truly get to the bottom of any of those, I think, is to watch it start to finish. We live in the year of our Lord 2026, where there's video cameras everywhere, and everyone can certainly find that information. But I think people in the tribes don't want to find all of the information because it goes against their views.
And I'm just to say this too, is like everyone that I come across with, whether, right side, left side, whether affluent, poor, black, white, brown, whatever, you name it, they all carry something called the Imago Dei. I believe that, which is called basically the image of God. We're all image bearers of God, which means we all have intrinsic value. And we assign value on people, like people do it in business, in real estate, like it's monetary, like how much did you make, what did you gross last year, and you'll see people, the way people treat you, it changes, based on that. And that's one thing I get grossed out by that particular notion, like I'm more than just an economic,
a tick on the box.
Yeah, there's way more to me than that, and same with Brad. But we have to treat people with dignity and respect. And what happens is when we're in these echo chambers and we're not out just with people. So like if I can encourage anyone with anything, it just go out and be with people that look differently than you. Go serve. Man, get out of your normal, ruts that you find yourself in, and just kind of gain perspective. Because it humanizes people on another side of an argument. Mm-hmm. And even if they're still maybe wrong and you may view their opinion on something as wrong, it helps keep the humanity intact. Mm-hmm. And like when we remove the humanity, that someone has dignity and value, that's where I feel like we get into a lot of trouble.
I want to tell a personal story. So whenever my kids were little, like little, 5, they were like 6, 2, and 3, right? We raised our kids. We still raise our kids, not judge a person by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character, MLK. So when we were doing that, we would never call somebody like, oh yeah, did that one black kid, blah, 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 or did that white kid, blah, 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 right? Not that there's anything inherently wrong with that. I feel like you need to describe somebody in order to talk about who you're talking about. Anyway, we were talking to them, and again, we live in Fort Bend County, the most diverse county in the United States, right? When we go up north and we go to this little town and we go check out a dairy farm. Mm-hmm. And we're walking around the dairy farm and they're showing us around and, oh, this is where we plug in the cows to milk them. And it was great and it was fun and the kids were loving it. And then you see all of the baby cows. And I go, oh, all the baby cows are out there. Who's taking care of all the babies? Because I only see 5 guys inside. And he goes, oh yeah, that's the wetbacks. And my kids are right there and they don't know it. They've never heard that word before. And I go, okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And he just said it so flippantly and offhand. What are we doing here that that these kids are here, you don't know how I'm raising them, right? But that's obviously how you're going to raise yours. Mm-hmm. I just got so upset in that particular scenario, in that particular situation. It still sticks with me. What I have to be careful to do, and I think this is a lesson, is to not use that situation to blanket the state.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And it's so easy to do that, and it taints things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're in certain situations that are like that, it's like, yeah.
It would be so easy for me to go, listen, they all hate Mexicans up there. Because of this one interaction that I had with this one person. And I think with social media and with the way that the regular media shoves everything at you, right? And everything is in the palm of your hand, that you're constantly being reinforced that, right? So hearing that same message over and over and over, you're going to start to potentially believe it.
Yep. So in regards to real estate, y'all, and just dealing with people that are differently than you and selling, you know, if you're working at a Mac store or a Starbucks, you're going to be tending to customers that are all over the, you know, and we can't discriminate. Legally, it's ethically wrong to do that, you know, and so
we have a thing that we have to avoid called steering.
Yeah, you can't steer someone.
You can't steer somebody, which for those of you listening and watching, the steering is when I'm taking Jimmy out and I see that Jimmy is brown. And I go, hey, you're brown. You would love this other community because it's filled with brown people.
Yeah.
Right? So let's go to this brown community. Or vice versa, I go, hey, you're brown. You probably don't like white people. This one's not like pretty, it's real powder. So we're going to go over to this other area, right? So steering is that, first of all. We have to avoid that. And occasionally, it's happened to me. I don't know if it's happened to you. Clients tell me, hey, I want to live next to my people.
Yeah.
Or, less likely, or maybe more likely, I don't want to live next to my people, which I've gotten before too. Now, we have to be very, very careful to kind of walk that line. So how do you, Jimmy, address it if a client, or have you had a client come up and use language like that, and how do you address it?
I just point them to look. You know, there's websites online for like personal research and statistics, and I would just encourage them to nail down where they would want to live. I don't really get into, you know, this is primarily an Indian neighborhood, or, you know.
And it's not always about race, right? Sometimes it's religion, right? Sometimes it's country of origin, which we also aren't supposed to steer for as well, or cannot steer. And so the religion piece as well, I think it's tough to be truthful and honest with your clients while still walking that line. So you use websites.
Yeah. A lot of my business is referral based anyways, and I don't run into this as often as others would. But I also feel like maybe one of the things that's been good about the last 5-6 years is maybe we're not as offended PC wise as we were almost like 10 years ago.
I agree with that.
You know, and so like I think that's actually kind of a healthy thing too. So I don't have to like walk on eggshells, you know.
Yeah.
You know, as much as I felt like I had to at some point. So I don't know. I haven't run into a lot of situations that have been just very like, you know, where I've had to avoid steering, I guess.
Okay, that's good. That's
great.
good. Yeah, and I always point them to, like schools is one of them, right? I want the best school. Okay, well, I can't make that decision for you. So then here's a website. Go to greatschools.org. They're going to give you a ranking system. Yeah. We don't want to create any of these divisions in our work.
In business, yeah, especially in business.
So if it's brought up, how do you talk about it?
So I'm relational with all of my clients, and I pick up on things that they are passionate about. So if it's sports, if it's basketball, if it's books, if it's fiction reading, you know, things along those lines. If they bring up something or broach something, you know, it almost feels like it's an open door to have a conversation about, or just to talk and get perspective or things along those lines. And that's how I deal with it. And it's never over a phone call. It's never over a chat. It's never over Facebook. It's always face to face. If we're going to talk about some things, and more than anything, so like there are spaces where it's inappropriate to talk about some of these issues. I'm not going to be. What's the rapper's name that went to get the Grammy from Taylor Swift? I'm not.
Kanye?
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm
not gonna be Kanye, and there's a time and a place to give a perspective and an opinion, and I really do believe that, and we need to get back to that.
Yeah.
There's places in work environments, where it's uncouth or brash or unnecessary to talk about certain things in certain situations with friends and people that I have done life with all day, every day. We'll have a discussion. A lot of times I'm hoping it'll be face to face because I know you and I have clout with you and things along those lines.
I think there's one thing I learned in my marriage, and my wife is going to kill me, or maybe she doesn't know yet. And I started when I was probably 8 years into marriage. And if you have been married, are married, then this will resonate with you. The first few years, it was just fighting, right? Fighting over this and fighting over that and money and where toothbrush out, whatever. And I felt like I always needed to win the fight, right? And I think she felt like she always needed to win the fight because you can't give up too much ground. Before we got married, a guy came up to me. I was looking for fatherly advice because my father was sick, right? So he couldn't give me any fatherly advice. That's a topic for another day. However, this gentleman came up to me and he goes, listen, I'm going to tell you something. I would much rather be happy than right. And I didn't understand what that meant. It took me 8 years, 8 years before I swallowed my pride and I went, you know what? I'm going to try something different. So I started going, listen, I could be wrong, and then I would state my claim, right? Just that little piece is enough to disarm whatever wall that person has brought up, right? Because now it's an opinion. You're not stating it as a fact, right? If you're sitting there and just fighting and fighting and fighting and going, no, this is a fact, the other person is too.
And it's robbing you your peace.
Yeah.
It's Mel Robbins, let them.
You're giving away so much energy.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but is super helpful, even when I knew I was right.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I say. You got to choose the right hills. If you're going to fight for a hill and fight hard for one, you can't fight hard for all of them. Mm-hmm. The ones that really, really matter are the ones that that are worth fighting for.
Worth fighting for. And the people that you love and trust and know and that you want to remain in your lives are the ones worth fighting for. And to take that one step further, the person you don't know is not necessarily your enemy. And maybe they're worth fighting for too, but we can do this in a civil way, and not everything has to come down to this violence or cutting off of people or canceling or these finalities that people love to throw around.
And it doesn't mean you don't share truth if something needs to be shared, but it's just you learn how to do it in a manner that hopefully people can hear it.
Yeah.
Instead of digging their heels in the ground even further.
And without damaging your own relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm super, super relational as well. And I love that. That's my favorite part of this job is getting to know new people, finding out where they come from, what's their background, what hills are they willing to die on?
Yeah.
Right? I want to know that. One, so maybe I can avoid it. Yeah. So as we're walking through life, right, and we're having these conversations and we're trying to do this business, right, I think it's important to just take a step back, take an overall view, a 30,000-foot view of what's actually important.
Amen.
Okay?
That's good.
Pope Francis said communication has the power to build bridges, right? Stephen Covey over here, who said, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Mm-hmm. A simpler way of saying that I've heard before is listen first, then speak.
Yeah.
the understanding piece is so, so, so important, and it feels like that's the piece that's kind of gone out of the way. But if you seek to understand, if you yearn to learn, then in my experience, it's always worked out better for me, for my clients, even in a transaction with with the opposition, I like to call them. Whatever side I'm on, the other side's the opposition. So if I'm on the buy side and they're on the sell, I want to seek to understand. I want to know why you're sticking to that price point. I want to know why you're sticking to, okay, why do we have to take title versus you guys taking title, right? What's the hurdle here?
Yeah.
Let's figure out the hurdle. Then we can get over it.
Absolutely.
Together.
Absolutely.
As a team.
Nailed it right on the head.
Nailed it on the head. I like it.
Yeah,
well,
that was good.
Thank you for coming by again. I'm sure we solved all of the world's problems.
Yeah.
So that's great. Don't forget to just be a human. Get out there. Get into it with your friends and your family and people that you don't know. Get into the dirt, right? Together. Work together. Love each other. Be peaceful. Be loving.
I'd also get your hands dirty too. If something is making you uncomfortable, go get your hands dirty and do life with people. You know, what does your shirt say?
Be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Like, I think that is something that we could live a great motto. And sometimes, you know, doing the hard work of listening, you know, and understanding and things, and you know, is the work of being uncomfortable. And it's so necessary. So
yeah, I love it. Be the change you want to see. We're going to be back next week where we got episode 5, maybe more games, maybe more pop culture, definitely more pop culture. And we'll talk to you guys then. We'll see you soon.